So guys, let's talk now a little bit about Texas and recap where we were last week very quickly. Last week, we talked about all the different Texas electricity plan offerings and went through them one by one. So that's on last week's recording. You can get that. We went through and we talked about how to do a savings analysis on the bill. I'm not going to go through all the details on that. You can reference the previous video on that. We talked about how to read the bill and actually how to calculate where to look for the actual average price that you paid, which is what compares to our think rates. And then we showed you how to calculate that if you can't find that number on the bill. And then we talked about how you calculate the average price paid, which is the base charge plus the energy charge plus the TDU charge divided by the kilowatt hours. So that we all learned all of that last week. Now I want to talk to you about some further information about Texas. And everybody who's wondering, first of all, we have some great videos in the state of Texas. We have the Texas All-In video, which talks about the promotion that's in place. We have the Texas Think Smart video. So whenever I'm talking to people in Texas, I want to show them the Think Smart video first because no one else has it. It's proprietary. I don't want to show them, if they're interested in learning more about how they can make money with that technology, and who wouldn't, show them the Texas All-In video because that thing is world class and it shows that they can make a lot of money in a short period of time. Then go and pick one of our videos that we have. We have Texas trainings that we've done. Texas business presentation overviews that are recorded, that are current, up to date, and specific with Texas. And so we do those on Thursday nights. They're posted on our YouTube channel. I will be migrating one of those or a couple of those over to our Vimeo channel as well. But and then there's there's a full video about Texas. I think it's like 15 or 16 minutes long. That's up to date. That has all of the videos built into it on our YouTube channel. So we already have those, and we'll be making some shorter versions of that. Some people have been asking about, can you get me a 5 to 7 minute video? So we're working on that. That's coming. So just stay tuned. Let's put it that way. So let's talk about Texas deposits. Deposits in Texas are basically when a customer signs up for electricity, there's a soft credit pull. It's not a hard credit check or anything like that. It doesn't go on to their credit scores with the bureau, anything like that. It's a soft credit check. It means they look to see their payment history and what their, likelihood is that they're going to pay their bills on time and in full. So the numbers are about 85% of customers that are currently enrolling with Think Energy in Texas do not require a deposit. So about 15%. So whatever, 15 out of 100 people, they will require a deposit. The vast majority of the deposits are $200. But Think reserves the right to charge higher deposits as needed. If it's somebody who is doesn't have a great payment or track record of paying their electric bills and they use a lot of energy, the deposit might need to be higher. All right, but the vast majority of deposits are $200. All right, and it might be all of them there's very few instances where it's different than that. Let's put it that way. Now, deposits need to be paid before the their Think Energy service can begin. So do they have to pay right when they enroll? Technically, no. And they can pick a start date for, to have energy start at a certain date, but then they will have to go back in and respond to an email that they get from Think saying, please place your, please post your deposit here. Please pay your deposit. So again, this is only 15% of the customers that are out there. So that's how Texas deposits work. All right. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Now, Texas deposit waivers. There are people that they might not qualify they might have to pay a deposit, but then it gets waived for certain instances, right? So it works like this. A deposit waiver in Texas allows certain individuals to avoid paying a deposit when they're setting up their electricity service with Think Energy. The deposits are typically required to start service if a customer has questions surrounding their credit history. However, waivers are offered to make electricity service more accessible for eligible individuals. So who qualifies? There's three categories of people who can qualify to be, they're eligible for waivers if they meet one of these criteria. And that is if they're over 65. So somebody says, is it 65 and over? No, it's over 65. It means you need to be 66 or older. Okay, they have to provide a valid ID, like a driver's license or whatever, birth certificate or something, and their most recent electricity invoice, or if they don't have that, a letter of credit from their current provider showing 12 months of on-time payments. Only one late payment is allowed during this period. And if they're over 65 and they qualify with that criteria, no deposit. If it doesn't matter what age they are. If the second one is a letter of credit. So if you have a letter of credit to new customers that submit a document from their current provider showing 12 months of on-time payments and only one late payment is allowed during this period, then you can have the deposit waived as well, just with a letter of credit. That's a standard thing that most energy providers provide just by contacting your current company that you're with. And then customers who are a victim of family violence, if they customers provide a completed form obtained from their caseworker, they can then qualify to have that deposit waived. Okay, so just to give you an idea, those are the three criteria for deposit waivers in Texas. And you can read this exactly, and you should, on thinksuccess.plus. All you have to do is go to thinksuccess.plus and type in waiver or Texas waiver or Texas deposit, and it'll automatically pop up. Just search for that item on with the magnifying glass and you'll get it. So Texas early termination fees, or what are called ETFs. So think energy plans in Texas carry an early termination fee, just like pretty much every company out there has an early termination fee, or ETF. The ETF is disclosed in the energy facts label. That's where it's disclosed. So when you go onto the website and you type in a zip code, and here's the plan you're picking, right? 12.5 cents with the Think Clean 12. Great. When you click on this view details, and it'll pop up with that. If you click hide details, it'll make it disappear. When you click view details, it opens this up and you'll see the offer documents here. And then this electricity facts label or energy fact. Well, it's electricity facts label. I stated that wrong. Let me make sure that's not energy. That's supposed to be electricity facts label. Just want to make sure I get that right so that, everybody has the info. Okay, there we go. Let me make sure that I save that correctly. All right. So it's the electricity facts label, the EFL. I've always been saying energy facts label, but it's electricity facts label. So what does the electricity facts label look like, right? Let's see what that looks like when we open that up. So I just made it so that it's easier to read. I cut it into two pieces, but it starts at the top here. It shows you what your average rate will be based on your kilowatt hours. It shows you the base charge, the energy charge, the Think Smart credit, if you're signing up for that plan, and what the TDU delivery charges. It shows you all of the things that go into the average price paid, the price to compare with Think Energy. And then right over here toward the bottom, other key terms and questions, it says, do I have a termination fee for any fees associated with terminating my service? Yes, $200. So whatever that is, that's whatever it says there, that's what it is. Could that change and not be 200? Sure. It would change across the board if they did it. I haven't seen it change. It's been $200 the whole time. So that's where you find the Texas early termination fee. So if someone gets service and then wants to switch to another provider, they would have to pay an early termination fee, just like if they were with another company that has an early termination fee and they want to come to us because there's a lower rate with us. They'd have to pay that early termination fee. And that's why from last week's training, we have the ETF Buster plan to allow people to offset that and move and get a better rate with us. All right, so that's the early termination fee and how it, where you find it and how it works. Now, the question comes up on this, well, what if I What if I move into a new apartment this month and I get Think Energy service and I have the $200 early termination fee? And then all of a sudden I get transferred at work and I have to move somewhere else. I move to a new apartment and you move elsewhere in the service area, or maybe you move out of state. You can't be a customer anymore. Do I have to pay an early termination fee? No. Texas law, you do not pay an early termination fee if you're moving. All right. So it's only when you electively choose to cancel the plan and move to another provider. Okay. In midstream, let's call it. So, that's how it works. All right. So just know that that's how early termination fees work. Texas product change fee. Get a lot of questions about where to find this. It's on the energy facts label. It's right down underneath where the early termination fee is. It says, yes, here it is. Please be aware that a product change fee of $29.95 will be applied if you wish to adjust your plan rate. Now, most companies that are out there in the market, and we differ from, we've been looking for other companies that are doing this, but there haven't been any that have really come to our attention as a regular thing that they do as a policy that's published. So with our plans, our customers, if all of a sudden rates go down, and let's say they locked in, at a rate of 15 cents per kilowatt hour, and then all of a sudden the energy market turns and for a little while and goes down. And now they can lock in, there's a new plan for new customers that's 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Well, you as a customer want that plan, but you're at 15 cents and you have an early termination fee. Well, all the other companies that are out there, most of them anyway, that I know of, they'll charge you that early termination fee, hundreds of dollars to break your plan in the middle of your cycles, right? And before your term is up. With us, it's just a $29.95 product change fee. So that's it. You pay that fee, and now you have the new lower rate. And see, what happens is most people realize that just by paying the $29.95 fee, I'm going to save like $50 or $100 by getting a lower rate, maybe. So it's worth it to pay the $29.95 fee. So, and that's just in the first month. And then the second month and third month and fourth month is all gravy at that point. So the question comes up, what if, I had somebody just ask me this the other day, what if I lock in at a plan at 15 cents with Think Energy, then all of a sudden rates go down to 13 cents, and I want to get that rate? Can I pay the $29.95 fee to get that rate? Yes, you can. Okay, great. What if then 3 or 4 months later, or 6 months later, anytime, what if it goes down again and the rate goes down to 10 cents? Can I pay the $29.95 fee again and do it again? Yes, you can do that. You can exercise your $29.95 product change fee whenever you'd like. It's good for one time, but you can exercise it whenever you like, and you can exercise it as frequently as you would like. So one thing I will make note of on this electricity facts label, the EFL, is right here. This is something that you might want to know if you're talking. Some people might care about it or whatever. Some people might not. But I will tell you that our renewable content, the statewide average for renewable content in an electricity plan is 35% clean energy, 65% brown, dirty energy. Ours are 100% renewable clean energy. So just think about that. All of our rates come from wind, solar, and hydro. And our rates are ultra competitive in the marketplace. We are trouncing the competition. So our competitors. And so just keep that in mind. I like to point that out because it's important to know. Some people may not care about it, but other people might say, yeah, that's a nice benefit. I'm getting clean energy at a lower cost instead of dirty energy at a lower cost. Might be something that, makes someone want to be part of what you're doing here. So now this was announced in April. So now in Texas, and so it's happening now, we are accepting cash payments. It's available for Texas Think Energy customers. They can pay at any check-free. They can pay at checkfreepay.com. They can pay at any Western Union location and most Walmart customer service desks. And it's a $2.50 fee that applies. So if a customer does not want to pay electronically, they can pay cash. There's ways to do that. So you can find the Texas payment centers in this post at thinksuccess.plus. Just type in cash payment and you'll get it. Okay. Texas cash payment and you'll find it. Just search for that. You'll find it. So again, where can you pay? You can pay at checkfreepay.com. You can go to any Western Union location, including most Walmart locations. And then additional locations include grocery stores, convenience stores, and standalone Western Union offices. All right. The payment reflects on your Think Energy account within 24 days. We talked about the $2.50 fee for doing it. And for this, it's convenient for a lot of people. That's how they pay their electric bills in Texas. A lot of people do. How do you find a location near you? Go to westernunion.com and type in your zip code. It'll give you the nearest locations. And then I like at the bottom, it says, hey, if you need power fast, same day connections are not available when paying with cash because those payments take up to 24 hours to post. So if you need power fast, your old plan ran out and you have to have power today, great. You need to use something electronic like a credit card to do so. All right, so that's Texas Cash Payment Centers, you guys. So now we've gone through pretty much all the details revolving, and if there's anything else, feel free to put it in the chat and we'll go from there. We've gone through a lot of information about last week's, how to read a bill, how to get a bill, how to do a savings analysis for a customer. And then now we talked about early termination fees. We talked about the cash payment centers. We talked about all the other details surrounding becoming a customer and what you can do and what you can't do, including, changing your plan if you'd like with our product change fee and deposits and deposit waivers. All right, so this is recorded. We'll post this into all of our channels and I'll just put the Texas part of it so it's short for everybody.